fame, it shines like gold under the spotlight, but in the shadows, it's darker than anyone dares to admit. We worship celebrities, don't we? Their faces on our screens, their voices in our ears, their scandals on our feeds. They're larger than life, untouchable, or so we think. But what happens when the very people we idolize take a life? Tonight, we peel back the curtain on a side of fame Hollywood wishes would stay buried. Some of these deaths were tragic accidents. Others were wrapped in violence, drugs, and despair. But they all prove the same chilling truth. Celebrity doesn't make you innocent. It just makes it harder to believe. Let's step into the darkness. Ryan Grantham, the child star turned killer. He was the kind of child actor parents trusted on screen. Ryan Grantham, the boy from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Later, Riverdale and Supernatural, a clean-cut face, the perfect supporting character. But behind closed doors, Ryan was unraveling. His diary told the story first, page after page of self-hatred, paranoia, obsession with violence. He admitted he wanted to die or take others with him. On March 31st, 2020, his demons broke through. His mother, Barbara, was playing piano when Ryan calmly walked up behind her and shot her in the head. Cold, calculated, rehearsed. He filmed her lifeless body on a GoPro, confessed what he'd done, regret flickering in his voice, but no undoing the horror. And his plan didn't stop there. His car was stocked with weapons, ammunition, Molotov cocktails. His targets? The Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, or a mass shooting at a university. But he never carried it out. Instead, he drove to the police station and confessed. The boy, once known for children's films, became infamous as a convicted murderer, sentenced to life in prison. Matthew Broderick, a Hollywood golden boy's deadly crash. Ferris Bueller, the cheeky teen who taught us how to skip school with style. Matthew Broderick wasn't just a star, he was a cultural icon. But in 1987, while vacationing in Northern Ireland with Jennifer Grey, fame collided with reality. Driving on the wrong side of the road, whether from confusion or carelessness, Broderick smashed head-on into another vehicle. 2 women were killed instantly, 63-year-old Margaret Doherty and 28-year-old Anna Gallagher. Broderick survived, Jennifer Grey survived, but the women in the other car never made it home. And here's the part that stings. Instead of prison time, Broderick was fined just $175, a parking ticket, for 2 lives. Outrage filled headlines, but Hollywood moved on. He returned to the spotlight, voiced adult Simba in The Lion King. Fame, it seems, has a way of rewriting justice. Sid Vicious, Punk's Romeo and Juliet of death. The name Sid Vicious is carved into punk history like graffiti on a dirty London wall. The spiked hair, the sneer, the chaos. He was the Sex Pistols. But behind the leather and the sneer was a love story gone rotten. Sid and Nancy. Drugs. Fights. Obsession. October 1978, the Chelsea Hotel, New York. Nancy Spungen found dead, a knife wound to the stomach. Sid was there. At first he confessed. Then he said he was asleep. The truth, never clear. Released on bail, Sid spiraled further. Heroin, overdose, dead before the trial could even begin. To this day, no one knows for sure if Sid murdered Nancy or if their love story collapsed under its own weight. Caitlyn Jenner, the Malibu highway tragedy, Olympic gold medalist, reality TV star, a name tied forever to the Kardashian dynasty. But in February 2015, tragedy struck on the Pacific Coast Highway. Driving her Cadillac Escalade, Jenner rear-ended another car. The impact pushed 69-year-old Kim Howe's Lexus into oncoming traffic, where it was struck head-on. Kim was killed instantly. Jenner wasn't drunk. She wasn't texting. Investigators found no recklessness. But still, a woman was dead. Lawsuits followed, quietly settled. The criminal charges? Dropped. Once again, wealth and fame shielded a celebrity from punishment, while a family buried their mother. Phil Lewis, from tragedy to Disney redemption. For a generation of kids, Phil Lewis was Mr. Moseby, the fussy, hilarious hotel manager on The Suite Life of Zack and Cody. But years earlier, his real life was far from child-friendly. In 1991, at just 23 years old, Lewis drove drunk in Bethesda, Maryland. His car collided with another. 21-year-old Isabel Duarte, a young nanny, newly immigrated, was killed. Charged with vehicular manslaughter, Lewis served a year in prison and hundreds of hours of community service. His sentence was unusual, performing in prison-based theater programs warning others about drunk driving. Years later, he rebuilt his career on Disney Channel. But the truth remains. Mr. Mosby's clean-cut image hides a deadly past. Ted Kennedy, the scandal that haunted a dynasty. The Kennedy family has always lived under a curse, but in 1969, it wasn't an assassin's bullet that cast a shadow. It was Ted Kennedy himself. Leaving a party on Chappaquiddick Island with campaign worker Mary Jo Kopechne, Kennedy drove off a narrow bridge into the water. He escaped. She didn't. Investigators later discovered an air pocket in the car, meaning she may have survived for hours, if only he had called for help. But he didn't. He returned to his hotel, silent, while Mary Jo drowned. Charged with leaving the scene, Kennedy received only a suspended sentence. He went on to decades in the U.S. Senate, but his presidential dreams were destroyed forever. One night, one decision, a life lost to history. Alec Baldwin, the Rust shooting. And then, the most recent case, Alec Baldwin, actor, producer, Hollywood heavyweight, October 21st, 2021. On set of the low-budget Western Rust, Baldwin held a prop gun, aimed it at the camera. It fired, a live round. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was struck in the chest, killed instantly. Director Joel Souza was wounded but survived. But how did a live bullet ever reach the set? Investigations pointed to negligence, to the armorer, to cascading safety failures. Baldwin insisted he never pulled the trigger. Lawsuits piled up. Manslaughter charges were filed, dropped, refiled, dismissed again. To this day, debates rage. Was Baldwin guilty of negligence or simply the face of a tragedy caused by others? Either way, a woman is dead, and Hollywood's obsession with guns, speed, and carelessness once again claimed a life. OJ Simpson, acquitted in court, condemned in history. He was the American dream on two legs. Orenthal James OJ Simpson, record-breaking athlete, commercials, television star. Fame adored him. America did too, until June 12, 1994. Nicole Brown Simpson, found outside her townhouse, stabbed, slashed, brutalized. Beside her, Ronald Goldman, a young waiter, dead. Almost immediately, the spotlight turned on OJ. The chase wasn't cinematic, it was surreal. A white Ford Bronco crawling down the freeway, helicopters circling, a nation glued to screens, and then came the trial of the century. In court, everything became theater. DNA, blood drops, shoes, gloves. The defense attacked evidence, police, racism, and then the moment etched in pop culture. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. The glove demonstration, stiff, tight leather over latex, became not truth, but doubt. Reasonable doubt. October 3rd, 1995. OJ Simpson acquitted. In criminal court, he walked free. Outside, reactions split a nation. But the story didn't end. 1997. A civil jury found him liable for wrongful death. Awarded $33.5 million to the families. Criminal acquittal, civil liability. Two truths side by side. Years later, in Las Vegas, armed robbery, kidnapping. Simpson claimed he was reclaiming property. A jury called it a crime. 2008, sentenced to 33 years. Served 9. Paroled in 2017. April 2024. OJ Simpson died of cancer. With him, some answers faded. But not the questions. Did fame protect him or frame him? Was he a beneficiary of brilliant defense or proof the system bends for the powerful? 2 people murdered, 2 families grieving. And a man once cheered in stadiums became America's most infamous question mark. Fame can worship you on Sunday and haunt you on Monday. It promises glamour, wealth, adoration. But these stories prove the darker truth. Celebrity doesn't protect from tragedy. It only hides it longer. If you're still with us and want more dark truths from behind the red carpet, subscribe to Dark Celebrity Truths. And remember, fame hides everything until it doesn't.